You think rich people have more money because they earn more. But what if the real reason is that you're spending in ways that quietly keep you broke? Most people never realize this, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. Let's start with a simple truth. Poor people often spend more than rich people, not in total amount, but in proportion to what they earn. And that difference is what changes everything. When someone earns a small income but spends almost all of it, they have nothing left to build with. On the other hand, someone who earns more but spends carefully creates space for growth. The problem is not just income. It's behavior. Many people believe, when I earn more, I'll start saving. But that moment rarely comes. Why? Because spending habits don't change automatically when income increases. If anything, they expand. This is called lifestyle inflation. Your expenses grow as your income grows, so you never actually feel richer. Think about it. A person gets a salary raise and immediately upgrades their phone, starts eating out more, or moves into a more expensive place. It feels like progress, but in reality, they're locking themselves into higher expenses. Meanwhile, rich people often do the opposite. They delay upgrading their lifestyle and focus on growing their assets first. Another reason this happens is emotional spending. When money is tight, people use spending as a way to feel better, buying things to escape stress or to feel successful, even for a moment. But those small purchases add up. It's not the big luxury items that destroy finances. It's the daily, unnoticed spending. And here's the hidden trap. Poor people often pay more for things over time. They buy cheaper products that break quickly, take loans with high interest, or miss opportunities to invest early. It's not their fault. It's a lack of awareness and options, but the effect is powerful. So the real question is not, how much do you earn? It's, what do you do with what you earn? Because that's where the difference between staying stuck and building wealth truly begins. Now let's go deeper into why this pattern keeps repeating, even when people try to change. One major reason is the mindset difference between spending and investing. Poor people are trained to think in terms of consumption. What can I buy today? Rich people are trained to think in terms of ownership. What can I own that pays me back? For example, imagine two people receive the same extra $500. One spends it on clothes, gadgets, or dining out. The other uses it to learn a skill, start a small side hustle, or invest in something that grows over time. The first person gets temporary satisfaction. The second builds long-term value. Another powerful factor is patience. Wealth is built slowly, but most people are addicted to quick results. Social media makes this worse. You constantly see people showing luxury lifestyles, expensive cars, and vacations. It creates pressure to look successful instead of actually becoming successful. So people spend money they don't have to impress people who don't really care. Let's look at a real-life scenario. Someone buys a new phone on installments. It feels affordable because the monthly payment is small. But over time, they pay more than the phone's actual value due to interest. Now multiply that behavior across multiple purchases, cars, furniture, gadgets, and suddenly, a large part of their income is locked into payments. Rich people avoid this trap by understanding one key rule. Every expense has a hidden cost. It's not just the price you pay today, but the future value you lose. If you spend $1,000 today, you're not just losing $1,000. You're losing what that money could have become if invested. This is where the gap becomes massive over time. Small differences in behavior, repeated consistently, create huge differences in results. One person keeps spending and stays in the same place. Another invests and slowly builds momentum. After a few years, their financial lives look completely different. And here's the surprising insight. Rich people are not necessarily more disciplined in everything. They're just more disciplined with money decisions. They automate saving, control unnecessary spending, and prioritize assets over liabilities. So it's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Every decision you make with money either moves you forward or keeps you stuck. And most people don't realize which direction they're going until it's too late. So what should you actually do differently if you want to break this cycle? The answer is simple, but it requires a shift in how you think about money. First, start paying yourself first. Before you spend on anything else, set aside a portion of your income, even if it's small. This creates a habit of saving and investing before lifestyle takes over. It's not about the amount, it's about consistency. Second, control lifestyle inflation. When your income increases, don't immediately increase your expenses. Keep your lifestyle stable for as long as possible and use the extra income to build assets. This is one of the biggest secrets of wealth creation. Third, become aware of your spending triggers. Ask yourself, are you buying something because you need it or because you want to feel better in the moment? This awareness alone can reduce a huge amount of unnecessary spending. Fourth, focus on assets, not appearances. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, like a skill, a business, or an investment. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket, like expensive items that don't generate value. The more you shift toward assets, the faster your financial situation improves. Finally, think long-term. Wealth is not built in weeks or months. It's built over years of consistent decisions. The small habits you create today will define your financial future. Here's the final insight. The difference between poor and rich people is not just money. It's behavior repeated over time. If you change how you think, spend, and invest, you can completely change your trajectory. Because in the end, it's not about how much you earn. It's about how wisely you use what you have.